So I said in the last video, offhandedly, that I thought that these were Robert Plant's kids, but it's not. No, actually, their names are Stefan and Samantha Gates. So this cover was designed by a famous design duo called... They designed album covers for Pink Floyd, T-Rex, ELO, you know, just a couple of measly bands. And so the concept for this album cover was based off of a science fiction novel where the children of the earth were all climbing to this certain special place where they would depart from this world. So Stefan and Samantha and their mom and the crew all go to Giant's Causeway, which is in Northern Ireland, to do this photo shoot. And, you know, naturally it rains for 10 days in a row. And they can't get much done unless they do what they did, which is shoot this in black and white. So as you can see, then they added color later, and the way that they did it had this very otherworldly feel to it. Welcome back to REBsessions. Okay, so track 1, song remains the same. How, pray tell, can you not love that bass? And the fullness of the 12-string guitar. And I used to really love this song when I was a teenager, especially. Particularly the sped up vocals. And hearing Robert Plant say Hoochie Coo is really hard to argue with. Track 2, the Rain Song. This song is cool. It has a very weird tuning. It's D, G, C, G, C, D. I think it's G sus tuning, is what it said when I looked that up. The song is gorgeous and a little bit underrated, I think. The lyrics are just poetry. The melodies of this song, it's almost Moody Blues-like. And if you know Moody Blues, they have some of the best melodies out there. So, huge compliments. And I feel like this is a song that you could play over like a rainy day montage of somebody in the 1930s remembering their little vacation love endeavor. But they don't ever let you get bored in this song. By the third verse, it builds up, those strings on the keyboard and the piano. It's like the sky opening up and just pouring. You know that feeling. Like, you know, it's raining pretty good outside, but then something just hits and it's like, that's what happens in this song. And then by the end of the song, they're still introducing new material. And Eddie Kramer, who was the producer for this album, mentioned that this was a song where John Paul Jones really showed what he was capable of in this song, particularly as far as arranging and all of those mellotron parts and the piano parts. That was him. And another fun fact was that this song was written in response to George Harrison saying that Led Zeppelin never did any ballads. So they were like, oh, I'll give you a ballad, all right. And they even sort of quoted from the song Something, the first 2 chords of the song Something. And then, just to kind of thumb their nose a little bit at George Harrison, the working title of this song was called Slush. Alright, number 3. This song always makes me think of Beavis and Butthead.
Butthead. Come on, Butthead. This is folk music. Change it.
No way. The song gets cool later.
That's what we're doing. Get it, get it. Get it, get it. Get it, get it.
Shut up, Beavis. I like it too, but you don't have to slobber all over me.
There's really not a lot to not like about this song. It's just straightforward, classic, folk to rock, prime Led Zeppelin style. And just to quote Eddie Kramer again, because he has a lot of good points, and obviously he was there, so he knows, it really shows off Led Zeppelin's preoccupation with the light and the shade, the acoustic and the electric. And that hits on a point that I imagine I'm going to be mentioning a lot in this channel because I am a little fixated on it, but it's about the magic of contrast. If it's good enough for Led Zeppelin, it's good enough for me. Number 4, the crunge. This is a weird one. It's in 9/8 time, which is a very strange time signature. Probably like a dream for drummers, or a nightmare, depending on how good you are, I suppose. And the lyrics of this song are exactly like listening to one of those people who the only thing I can think to call them is a jive turkey. It takes them like 5 minutes to say something that could take them 1. And they're full of crap. Besides the point. So it's kind of fitting that this was based off of some things that James Brown would do. Hence, where's the confounded bridge? They wanted to do kind of their own little version of the way that James Brown would be calling out directions to his band during recordings, and that spontaneous feeling. And I guess their little version of it would have been like Robert Plant and Bonzo bantering back and forth in black country slang to each other in the song. Clearly they settled with the way that Robert Plant ends the song. I'm just gonna guess that this is one of those songs that drummers just adore and love and get, and that uncultured swine like me just don't. But to make up for that, we have Dancing Days, the 5th track. What a wonderfully weird song. It is kind of like when belly dancers do that one like hip flick thing. Yeah, that's what this song is like. By the way, Stone Temple Pilots do a pretty good cover of the song. It's worth checking out. The song makes me smile. And my favorite thing ever, I could just have a ringtone of it, is Robert Plant saying, "You told your mama I'd get you home, but you didn't say I got no car." Ugh. But enough of my fangirling. I'll give you a little fact to bite into. And that's that this song was written after a trip to India, and they heard this Indian-style song at a wedding that inspired the riff. Number 6, Jamaica. Oh. This makes me so happy. So my wife recently went on holiday to the West Indies. Jamaica? Nah, she went of her own accord. I love it. So if you didn't know, that's the joke that this song title was based off of, which just further solidifies and perpetuates my enduring love of puns and dad jokes. This song is one of my favorites on the album, just on groove principle alone, which goes pretty far for me. So this song was supposed to be a mixture of reggae and 60s pop. And when they released it, nobody really got that. It was met with a lot of antipathy from critics. And besides that, John Bonham didn't want to play reggae. It's too boring for him. He didn't want to do it, because that would have required him to play too strictly as well. So he didn't. And then Jimmy Page, he talked about it and said that it was a little bit self-indulgent. It was a little bit of a joke to even go through with releasing it. And then Robert Plant loved it. And you know what? Sure, nobody is surprised, but I'm gonna take Sir Robert's side on this one. Also, by the way, Great White does a great cover of this song. They do good Led Zeppelin covers in general. Number 7, No Quarter. Why do I always forget this song exists? Tell me why. No. The beginning, it's just so groovy and dark. It has a nice mythological feel. It really goes with kind of their little Viking theme that they have going there. Next and last, The Ocean. Those ooh-oohs would remind me of some Van Halen ooh-oohs. If you can tell me what Van Halen song those ooh-oohs remind me of, then I'll, I don't know, send you a Pop-Tart or something. Fun little fact, you can hear the studio phone ringing at 1 minute and 37 seconds of this song. Also, one cool thing is that they were really going for a lot of ambient sounds on this record. So they would do all kinds of little things to achieve that. Like, they'd be recording things all over Stargroves, for one thing. They would do stuff like putting the amp in the fireplace and the microphone like kind of up the chimney a little bit, and everyone's stuff in a different room, and then talkback mics all over the place. So, encompassing thoughts. This is a fantastic album. Do I think it's the best Led Zeppelin album? It's really good. There's definitely worse ones, like Coda. Coda is worse, definitely. But where's that confounded title track? On Physical Graffiti, along with Black Country Woman and The Rover, which were also recorded at Stargroves and didn't make it on the album for, well, either multiple reasons or no reason at all, really. So, go ahead, let me know in the comments what you think about this album, each of the individual songs, if you have any memories associated with this album. I have a pretty solid old guy demographic. You guys are great. Tell me all the things you know. So, if you loved hearing my humble opinion, go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, and join me again on REBsessions.